Okay, so we're trying to get this straightened out. Let me see if we're going to get connected here. Let me see. This should be fine, right? So, looks like we're okay, you guys. Can you see me okay now? I might have to like change it to I'm just Can you guys see me okay? Okay, thank you guys. Sorry about the problem, the issue. Looks like we're doing okay now. We got something going on, but got my candle going. Let me put the incense. Since it didn't come through the first time, I gotta explain the beginning again. Tonight we're gonna be talking about fallen angels. What fallen angels really are. Not from the plain, religious descriptions of angels, or because there's been distortions in those sacred books, and you would say the books of half-truths, and the concept of an alien coming from the Emerald Order point of view is a lot different, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So let me lay down some of this incense real quick. Got a piece of white copal. Put some amber on there. Yeah, it bothers me when I have an issue starting, but it looks like, when I was already talking in the other live. But it's all good. We're getting this through. I thank you guys for being here on this live broadcast as we come together in our spirit, in our energy, coming together in the freedom teachings, also called the innerchristos, law of one. And so let me see if I got a notice here. So fallen angels, beings who have fallen from their original state, using their free will to go on a path of distortion. This originally started with two guardian races. They went through what's called DNA code convolution. And it is these beings who started to war with each other, who started to attack other races, go on a killing spree, go on a domination spree. And these are specifically the Anu Elohim and versus the Omicron dragon moths. Now, these are specific race names that are in these Emerald Order freedom teachings. So it's not going to be the same what you're used to in New Age teachings. And so this is the point of view that we're representing tonight. And so what are angels? What are fallen angels? They're alien extraterrestrials who are multi-dimensional. There's many different levels of reality. And humans are in the 3D. Well, these beings are coming from 4D, 5D, 6D, 7, 8, or 9 dimension. And so they look different than us. They look like less dense and less atoms in their structure. And so even though in their dimensions, they can still interface with beings in the third dimension through dream work. When a person starts to alter their consciousness, negative or positive, when you're going outside of the 3D frequency bandwidths, with your consciousness is like an antenna. And directly connected to your Templar. It is the Templar that are the antenna that are connecting you. Like the heart chakra is the fourth dimension. It connects you to those levels. The fifth chakra connects you to the fifth dimensional frequencies, where these other beings exist, where you can perceive other worlds, other spirits, other alien beings. And it is these beings that you start to perceive that we're calling angels or archangels, but they're actually simply aliens, extraterrestrials. And some of them will have wings. A lot of them don't, but there's certain race strands like the Omicrons, the dragons. Those beings have literal wings. The Odedicrons have wings. You know, the winged aspect comes from the bird races in the Seraphim, gold flame races. And so other races can be doing genetic hybridization, getting some of that avian genetics, combining it with their genetics, creating a new species, a new race that also has wings. Even any type of scientist, geneticist would be trying to hybridize certain species. And that's a big thing that these aliens are doing. They're hybridizing, mixing stuff with their own DNA or just creating little science experiments. So when you think of an angel, it's literally described as a being in a higher dimension, a higher matter form. Like we're carbon matter. Well, angels are not carbon matter. They wouldn't be as physical as we are. They're less physical. They have something called carbon etheric or carbon crystal matter. So their bodies are different and created differently. The matter of their planet is different. And so these things are very different than us. And so this is what the definition of an angel is. It's basically another word for alien, extraterrestrial. Angel, oh, you're talking about a being from another dimension. You know, these are beings in their dimension will come from their planets. So we're talking about star systems, but they're actual come from specific planets in those star systems. Like people call Orion. Well, okay, Orion has its own system, and it's going to have its own planets, just like Lyra or Sirius. They're going to have their own planets, planet names. But people just get used to calling them, you know, by the star name. Lyrans, it's not a race name. Orions, that's not a race name. Which Orion? Which Lyran? Which planet? Like the Pleiadians are coming from planet Alcyon. Some of the Zeta beings are coming from the Zeta Reticuli system. Or Alnalam and Alnatak. I can't remember the exact pronunciation. But, you know, we have to be more specific. So these ETs, these angels and archangels are higher dimensional entities. They get to our dimension, the third dimension. See, we're being articulate, we're being specific. These are fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way up to eighth, ninth, 10th dimensional beings, if it's an avatar. But mostly we're dealing with angels and archangels. Density 3 and density 2 beings. Crystal carbon and carbon silicate. No, crystal silicate. So crystal silicate beings are archangels. Crystal carbon beings are angels. Carbon beings are like us in the third dimension, in density universe 1. These beings are coming from higher levels of creation, density universe 2 or density universe 3. Mostly that's who's visiting us, not the higher ones. Mostly it's these beings. So this is what an angel is. It's a multidimensional entity, a different body matter, a different level of consciousness, higher level. Now, We're going to be talking about the war that happened between the guardians that created these fallen angelic consciousness, reverse consciousness, Metatronic consciousness. Not my wording. It's the Emerald Order wording. Okay? I'm not making anything up. These aren't my personal ideas and opinions. They're coming from the Emerald Order freedom teachings. It's not just these books. Voyagers 1, Voyagers 2, Angelic Realities. But this is the beginning. From 1998, early 2000s, okay? Now there's hundreds of different video workshop series. Each series is going to have several hours. So they were originally on VHS tapes. Kind of like transferred over into digital form and uploaded to the internet. So you can find these video Emerald Order Ashiana Dean workshops on, first check YouTube, why not? Because you're going to find some stuff on YouTube, but not everything. Check on BitChute, BitChute, bitchute.com. It's another video site. There's other video sites besides YouTube. There's many. There's hundreds. So one of them is called BitChute, and that is less censored. You're going to find a lot of the workshops, maybe all of them, on BitChute. But you have to search for it. It's not very well organized. Plus, they have all these advertisements. That's not fun. But you can also look on Telegram, which is an app. I use Telegram on my PC, but you can put it on any phone or device, So these are the perspectives that we're talking about here on Christos Avatar. Because I'll get comments even today. Where are you getting this from? Even I got to keep repeating myself. It's coming from the Emerald Order teaching, starting with the Voyagers books and going into the hundreds of different spiritual video workshops, each one from a few hours to 20 hours plus. So that's a lifetime of work, you guys. A giant spiritual tome of information talking about this whole drama with the human race, all these different races involved with oppressing us, influencing us, manipulating us. Not just that, they manipulate the energy systems of our planet. They manipulate our DNA, twisting our DNA, preventing us where most humans aren't able to ascend. They're stuck in repeating, reincarnational cycles. So they can't ascend until they learn the knowledge to reverse the reversal in our consciousness, in our DNA. Because this isn't what we should look like. This is a distorted version of what we really look like. Which, if you describe what we really look like without the planetary distortions, without our DNA distortions, we would look alien-like to us. We would look immortal. No, we would be immortal. We would be in a higher state of evolution. But we became like these human creatures. Yeah, you can call us beautiful, but we're much more beautiful, much more aligned with our DNA template than what we are here. We don't look very much like what we originally looked like. And if you saw it and you don't believe in aliens, you would probably freak out. But those of us who are learning about this information and experiencing these things in our own spiritual journey, we're seeing these angels, density 2 beings, archangels, density 3 beings. We're not saying dimension. Density is a universe system. Holographic universe, you can call them, which have different bodies, different levels of consciousness. So thank you guys for being here and hanging out with me tonight. This is what we're going to be talking about. We got Robin Kirk in the house, my Chiwa star sister. Leah Murray, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Indigo Jamie Christ star, my Chiwa. Elixir Vision, higher self-language. Yes, sir. And also, we talk about something called the Anuhazi language, which is the original first ET language that the Guardians still use to this day. It's even used in some of the teachings and the songs that we and affirmations we use. So, bless you. Thank you. Good to see you, man. Holy ones. Yeah, sorry for that rough start, you guys. We got Tony in the house. UTD. Greetings, you guys. Hello to you. Kimberly in the house. Welcome, Star Sister. Inleton, we see you. Thank you for that confirmation. Gina! What's up, Star Sister? Good to see you. Big hugs. Yeah. Sandra, hello, beautiful soul family. Galactic Guardian, Machiwa, little goddess. Hi, I'm so happy we're live. Good to have you with us, Star Sister. We wouldn't want to do it without you guys. All coming together. Galactic Guardian, Tim 4. Thank you for that. What's up, Robin Kirk in the house? Paul, Machiwa, beautiful souls, love from Melbourne. Welcome, Australia. We also have Sir Madism is also from Australia, right? I don't know if he's from Melbourne, though. Yeah, I'm not perfectly better, Robin Kirk, but thanks for asking. I still have sinus block and I have to keep blowing my nose, I guess, for another 24, 40 hours. Who knows, right? We got Charlene in the house. Thank you. Peace and joy to you. Celine, Star Sister, back from her Mount Shasta trip. So awesome to have you back safe and sound. Many blessings to you. I'm sure there's so much you can share with us now with that trip you did. That's amazing. Good for you. I want to go to Mount Shasta someday. Maybe you'll be our tour guide, tour guide, since you're a little bit familiar now with some of the best places there. Thank you, guys. Stardust Goddess in the house. Welcome, Stardust. Woohoo! Much respect. No way. Gina Sutton, Machiwa, Holy One. That's a great way to start this live. Much blessings to you, Gina. Thank you so much. It helps so much, and I just want to say a special shout out to you because it was a great honor to meet you in person in the LA Alien event, and we got to kick back we only got to see each other for one day. But it was a great time, and we were spending time with other starseeds awakening. Thank you, Gina. You make a big difference. I appreciate that exchange of energy. Bless you, sister. And so this is an important time to be alive. Because of the stellar activation cycle is creating this. It's actually in a Stargate closing cycle, but that takes a decade or two. It's a process that takes a while because we're dealing with the planetary Stargate vortices that close like this, progressively close. They're closing. But at least 5 of them are still open. This is why there's a spiritual awakening happening. This is why people, even if they're on a spiritual journey or not, they're experiencing changes in their life. And you'll see changes on the global stage. This is where we got all the crisis and war mongering and talk about, World War III. So that's not the timeline we want. I don't know about you guys, but I want to expand this awakening timeline. Because when it comes to timelines, it has to do with the direction of humans after they die. That's what a timeline change will be. You die, but you're not going to return back to this timeline. For example, you would return to a lower timeline or in a descending timeline or a rising, expanding timeline. You want to go to the expanding timeline based on the conscious work you've done here in the 3D drama playing out. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a catalyst that creates a faster transformation. Without the challenge, you would just be living, coasting. But with action and drama and fallen angelic activity, you're more sparked to make many changes in this one lifetime. So that's what we're dealing with, you guys. Transformation with challenge, ascension and awakening, but with some problems and issues and distortions in our journey that we deal with because they're being imposed on us from our karma, yes, but also from these fallen angelic races who are not making it easier. They actually don't want humans to awaken their 12th strand. They're scared to death if we woke in our 12th strand. If we became Christic guardians on earth again, they would basically be dismissed. You wouldn't be serving them anymore. You wouldn't be feeding them, giving them power. All the religions, all the patriarchal religions on earth are feeding this Metatronic death science. They're feeding the fallen angelic presence. You're keeping it here. You're making it stronger. When you go into the fear system, fear God, okay? Let me give you a couple examples of fallen angel races. The Anunnaki are an example of fallen angel races. Am I going to say all Anunnaki? No. But the majority of the Anunnaki are fallen angelic races. The Anunnaki were actually created by another fallen angelic race. So what does that make them? Their creator race is fallen angelic. Do you think they're going to make a lovely guardian race? No. They make another race based on their attributes that they'll even abuse because they're fallen angelics. They're going to abuse their own creations, their own children. So abuse as in use for their own agendas. Incarnate into those body forms. So, and create their own messes and problems in the lower dimensions. So they want tyranny. They want domination. They have no problems with murdering and sacrificing. As a matter of fact, they use sacrifice as fuel. This loose energy that they feed off. Suck. They're vampires sucking life force. They live off of other beings' life force. This is what is a fallen angel. Fallen angels are finite beings. They don't have auras. They don't have working Templar. You see, they're in the phantom state. They're in the fallen state. So, let's say you fall into the phantom matrix. You're not connected to your life force energy. So if you're not connected to these Templar, you're not connecting to your higher levels of consciousness. You're just limited to a 3D mind, 3D conversations, 3D relationships. And what is 3D? Down here, lower, the lowest. Chakras 1, 2, and 3. The butt chakra, the groin chakra, and the ego chakra. So you're all about survival. You're all about some strange, bizarre sex. And you're all about the ego, me, me, me. That's human consciousness on Earth. This is the Earth consciousness. But we're coming in from the 4th dimension, the 5th dimension, the 6th dimension, density universe 2, coming into density universe 1, and trying to help, try to make a difference. You're attracted to this body of work. That means you're part of the Guardian Alliance. You're part of the Emerald Order. You're coming here for service to others. But you first are born in here, you're birthed in here, and it's confusing. You don't remember who you are until you go through a process of waking up. And that's what we're doing right now. I just described it. We're in the process of awakening because of the planetary grids are opening not the grids, the Templar. But they're also starting to go into a closing. It'll take a couple decades for all of them to close. That doesn't mean it's impossible to ascend, but without the gates opened, it's much harder. You won't be having an awakening. And if the same beings are still in power, you're going to go through a dark age after this is closing. There's no more awakening spark, no more higher dimensional frequency coming in. Then you're just, literally, we don't really count first, second, and third Templar of the planet. So basically, we only have fourth and fifth Templar open. That is higher dimensional. Sixth one closed already, or is closing. I know the seventh one closed in 2022 in December, according to Voyager's book. Now, I wanted to say to Indigo Wizard, we were talking about some of the discrepancies in the chakras, or the Stargate locations. I discovered something on my own research. Looking in the MSTI document, the Master Stewardship Initiative document, which is the Master Templar PDF, I realized that they're making references to 12 Stargates and something called 12 what's it called? The star? Not in the star. It's Let me look this up, man. It's another word for star. Let me do this. Like Antarctica is one of them. Not an actual Stargate site, but it's. Let me open it. Voyagers 1, Voyagers 2, and Master Templar Stewardship Initiative. Antarctica. I might have this open in my notes. What am I looking for in there for? Let me look at my notes for. No, I don't know where to look at my notes, so let me just look here. Antarctica. Antarctica. Or let me put Sedona. What? Let me put Zion, China. Oh, okay. So they're called signet locations. Signet. So I was correct on the Stargate locations. But it becomes confusing because they don't indicate that it's a signet location. So there's 12 Stargate locations, there's 12 signet locations, and there's 12 freaking Q sites. So it gets confusing when they don't indicate which one is which. When they said the South Pole was Stargate 1, and when it's not. It's the Painted Desert is SG1. And then there's Templar or Signet locations, which you're not going to find unless you're opening this Master Templar Stewardship Initiative PDF. So I even seen, what's his name? Samuel Lee also getting the Stargate locations wrong because of the confusion in the documents. It's not Sarasota, Florida. It's not a Stargate there. But people will do that. They'll, instead of Jerusalem, Israel, they're going to put Florida. Florida's the Gruol point. Or they'll say there's a Stargate in the Bermuda Islands. No, there's not. You're talking about Signet sites, not a Stargate site. Just want to throw that out there because there is confusion amongst the Stargate locations. And actually, Sedona is not the actual location. Those are connected to the Painted Desert Stargate. SG1. So, a lot of the wars that we have on planet Earth are over these 36 different location sites. Signet sites, Stargate sites, or Q-base, or Q-base. Q site locations. And so I'm going to make a video just about that to explain it. So there's, these PDFs aren't written perfectly. There is some confusing the way they word things. Sometimes it's very confusing. Unless you've been studying it for years, you will see the different things. Like, it took me forever, man. It took me forever to get all of the races on my time matrix diagram because they use so many different word variations for one specific race. It is extremely frustrating and irresponsible. Just saying. Like, let me give you an example. Because we are talking about these fallen angelic races, so... So I had to go through that hell for you guys, so you don't have to go through the hell of figuring out what is this, huh? Actually, it might be in my... Yeah, let me look at my Anunnaki page. Sorry. This just has to get out. When it's in my mind, I'm a Virgo, and I can't let it go until it's done. Anunnaki. Yeah. They'll like they'll say Marduk Necromaton Luciferian, but then later they'll say Marduk Necromaton Nibirian, and then they'll say Marduk Luciferian Andrami Anunnaki. And I'm trying to get the information correct when they're using all this, especially the Marduk Dramen, and then they'll say Marduk Dramen Satane, and then they'll say Marduk Dramen Anunnaki, then they'll say Marduk Dramen Omicron Anunnaki, then they'll say Marduk Satane family Anunnaki. What the F? On every single being from Nibiru, every single one, they did the same thing. They do the same thing in the Voyagers books with the Samyasi Luciferian Anunnaki, but then they'll call it Pleiadian Nibirian Samyasi Luciferian. Then they'll call it Pleiadian Nibirian. You don't know if it's Samyasi yet, and then they'll say Pleiadian Samyasi Anunnaki, Pleiadian Samyasi Luciferian. Can you just please stick to one term? You guys feeling me? Because some of you are reading the Voyagers books and seeing the same stuff. Especially the Inky Anunnaki, Toth Inky Anunnaki. Different types of the word with the word Inky in it. So you're like, well, is this a different race? Is that a different race? It's the same thing with Enlil. It's the same thing with the Million Anunnaki. You have to figure it all out. Without talking to Ashiana or someone else. You have to figure it out by just going over and making a ton of notes, and then you might figure it out. Okay, this is what I figured out. I make it simple. Instead of all these weird-ass combination of terms, just say Inky Anunnaki. A fallen angelic race, not a brother to Enlil. This is a Anunnaki psyop. This is a distortion. The Guardians call it a race, not a brother, not some dude. It's a race of beings from planet Nibiru. So you can call them Nibirians, but just realize it's an Inky Anunnaki, and Toth came out of the Inky Anunnaki. There's an Enlil Anunnaki, another fallen angelic race. They're not freaking brothers, homies. They're just simply happen to be two races from the same planet, Nibiru. There's Marduk Anunnaki, but there's two Marduks. Marduk Necromaton and Marduk Satane. That took me forever too, man. It was painful. This is going berserk. Not berserk, but it's local, Vato Loco stuff. And it took me months. It took me a whole year to straighten it all out. That's why that diagram is worth $15 of Anuhazi's, pulling out hairs and stuff. I would have loved to get on the phone with Ashiana just for 30 minutes to straighten out these race names. She's the one who went to the CDD plates. What's up, Ashiana? Why are you, calling all these different ways to call this name? Why don't you just say Inky Anunnaki? They're from Nibiru. Enlil Anunnaki, also from Nibiru. Marduk Anunnaki. Well, one is from Nibiru, one's from Andromeda. So, and Syrian Anunnaki. There's actually not a chapter on that, but you got to bury into the Voyagers and you will find a reference to Syrian Anunnaki, which is just simply meaning Anunnaki on Sirius A. And then you got the Jehovah Anunnaki. Okay, so are those the Syrians that once was in planet, was it? The Anu Elohim were the original race. They weren't called Anunnaki. They're not Anunnaki. They're the ones who created the Anunnaki. So they moved to Sirius A. After their planet got destroyed, they had to go somewhere. Planet Avion got destroyed. This is part of the Lyran Elohim Wars. That's what it's called in Voyagers, Lyran Elohim Wars, because it happened in Lyra, and the race Anu Elohim is the one who started the fighting through the first punch, because actually the Omicrons were also digressed at that point, but they're the ones who started the fighting. The Anu Elohim started the fighting. These are the fallen angelic races mostly, and the reptilian races mostly are the ones we deal with. There's other races, like the Necromaton beetle people from Andromeda. They're very dark, and actually I've even heard Ashiana talk sometimes where she said they were the Anunnaki and the reptilians despised the Necromatons. They hated them. They feared them. So they're another huge faction or player. Anunnaki factions, reptilian factions, and Necromaton factions. And out of the Necromatons is where you get, part of tonight's topic, the Archangel Michael Matrix. Again, not a dude, not an individual. It's a race. It's a collective. But humans are used to thinking in terms of collectives. We're so used to seeing individuals with names. So you're calling, because of Zechariah Ascension tells you they're two brothers. Obviously, he pulled that out of his ass. There is no truth to that at all. There is no special being who came and this whole drama about coming from planet Nibiru, coming to the Sumerians, the Akkadians, and they worship them as gods. There's some influence on Sumer, but the whole Zechariah Ascension thing is total BS, you guys. And he wrote a bunch of books about this whole narrative, which according to guardians like Lisa Renee and even the Secret Space Program, they call out Zechariah Ascension. They talk about how Zechariah Ascension was getting his information from other sources, which were Illuminati sources. And it was the Illuminati who wanted to use this narrative in the UFO communities, the ancient alien communities, to bring forth their spiritual system, to create a religion out of it. The Anunnaki, Inky, brother, Enlil, brother crap is a religion now in the UFO communities, in the ancient alien communities. Now it's their truth, and they'll get angry at you if you say something other than that lie, that distortion. Even people nowadays, they don't even know who Zechariah Ascension is, maybe. Who's Zechariah Ascension? Because he was talking in the 90s. His books are old, man, now. So maybe you don't even know your whole idea about Inky brother and Enlil brother. is connected to this old dude who was talking about this crap way in the 90s. You lost that connection. You don't know it's coming from this whole series of books, maybe. So, this information from the Emerald Order destroys that narrative. Explains how that narrative is a New Age distortion, a lie, a fabrication. Inky is not an individual. It's a collective of aliens who are part insectoid, part serpent. Okay? They look like snake people. Alien snake people. Does that sound like what Zechariah Ascension says? Nothing like it. You're getting a lie from this New Age false teaching. Same with, let me see. Let me show you on the diagram real quick. Let me pull up the 15-dimensional time matrix diagram. And switch to it for you to see. This is the 15-dimensional time matrix, and the reptilians come out of the 10th dimension, the Anunnaki come out of the 11th dimension. Let me look on the bottom part that shows the races. You see, they were created in the 11th dimension, while humans are in the 3rd dimension. They're actually, let me correct myself. These beings were first, the Anu Elohim. And they created the Jehovah and Anunnaki only as recent as, this was hundreds of millions of years ago. Now I could look in the PDF and get the exact year, but these beings are 900 billion years old. All of the original founders, all. The Anu, who became the Anu Elohim, the Anuhazi felines, with the exception of Necromaton, because they're not a guardian, original founder race. Omicrons, these are all 950 billion years old. These original races. Now, they would have created these other races. The Necromaton were down here too, but they got way up here because they were mixing their DNA with the Jehovians. So they're 11th dimensional. But they're not a founder's race. And I'll make that indication on my 2025 diagram whenever I do this. But this is the original bloodline. There used to be only one race called Anunnaki. Now there's a whole bunch of other races called Anunnaki, which are not these Anunnaki. They're not Jehovians. They're not Yahweh. They're not Elohim. They're part of this bloodline, used to create hybrids. Like the Nephilim is a hybrid with the human. And then you got, I haven't put it on this new diagram, but let me see. The Enlil Anunnaki are scaled reptiles from Nibiru. I think this is the only one I haven't made pictures of yet, Enlil. But I have of the Inky though. So this is the Marduk Satane. That one actually should be over here because it was the Omicron who used the Anunnaki, Jehovian Anunnaki, to create a hybrid race called Marduk. That's what Marduk is, man. It's a hybrid between reptilians and Anunnaki races. And so some of these Marduk Anunnaki made it to Nibiru. So the main three races on planet Nibiru, there's four main races. Marduk Anunnaki. See, I told you there's two Marduks. And Inky Anunnaki, they're on planet Nibiru, and so is the Enlil Anunnaki on planet Nibiru. Has nothing to do with brothers. They're not dudes. And there's also the Pleiadian Anunnaki, who are also on planet Nibiru. I'm not saying all Pleiadians are Luciferian. These ones are. The ones that are hybrids with Anunnaki, those are the Luciferian Pleiadians. This is the ones that visited Billy Myers. Look what they're described as. Semyasi. This is in the Guardian Voyager's books, man. Who visited Billy Myers? Semyasi. Pretty, perfect, blonde human girls. That's who visited Billy Myers. You hear my nose getting stuffed up. I gotta blow my nose, you guys. Let me do that. Give me 12 seconds or so. But let me mute my microphone, of course. Sorry, guys. Okay. I'll have to do that a couple times, I think. Sure, there's all kinds of fallen angelic races. But this is what you would call the main fallen angels, ETs, malevolent ETs that are involved with the human drama. A fallen angel is any being who falls into a phantom-like consciousness, a fallen consciousness. So, but those are the highest level ones. You saw that they're density 4 avatars, man. What you call dark avatars. Dimensions 10 and 11 are dark avatars. So, there surely is different ones. Like you saw even on my diagram, there's a few other races that the Guardians mention because they've done stuff to us or the planet. You know, they've messed with us. But if there's legions of fallen angels, of course there's probably billions of different fallen angel races. So we're just talking about the ones directly involved with Earth and the human drama. And just back to the diagram real quick, just to show. Like the Anu, who are on Earth, fallen angels, Pleiadian etheric ape. Apes are not just limited to Earth. They came to Earth or brought to Earth or part of the Earth now because of this race. Yoni is the first ape. They're a founder race, so it's one of the 10 founder races. Okay, apes came from somewhere. Well, they came from the violet flame. And notice the Anu Elohim is a blue flame race. It's a blue flame race, but they're a hybrid. They're the only hybrid blue founder race. Feline, but also ape, aquatic ape. That's a hybrid. That's not a full-blooded, a single-blooded race. Well, it doesn't say this in the Voyager's books, but I put it in my own mind. Look, they're in the same density as the Anuhazi by the blue flame, and the only ape here in this density 4 is the Yoni. So they got it from the violet flame, the aquatic ape part. So I'm in the middle of making my Metatron video, and it talks a lot about these aquatic apes. I show you lots of pictures of these aquatic apes. And, well, gee, I can show you some of those right now. Now, you have to realize I make this distinction here because they were once positive for 700 billion years, and then they became negative and went into the phantom. They fell into the phantom universe. And if you lose your DNA, if you distort and reverse your consciousness, your body is going to look differently. So the original Anu looked very lovely and beautiful and shiny and happy and peaceful. So let me show some of those happy, peaceful pictures of the Elohim. Before they fell, they were still called Anu. I'm looking. Because I did all this in order. I gotta put this on Photoshop. Let me switch it to Photoshop. I mean, the pictures help a lot. So you'll notice that this is a feline aquatic ape. You see the eyes? Feline, kind of like pointed feline ears, but also useful because they're aquatic beings. Their skin looks aquatic. It's not reptilian, it's aquatic skin. So I gotta check the camera or live and make sure you're getting this. I'm just refreshing my camera view so I can make sure you guys are seeing this correct. Thank you, Lauren Wisdom. I appreciate it, sister. Yeah, I put a lot of time and work on this project, especially the Elohim one. This is Elohim. And even though Ishmael Perez may not know this whole background, he aligns with the Elohim. I'm sure he doesn't want to think of himself as a feline aquatic ape, but that's what the Guardian teachings talk about. This is a feline aquatic ape race. This is before they fell. So they look peaceful, they look cool or kind. You can see the ape features, you can see the feline features, and you can see they're definitely aquatic. Aquatic beings. And I think, personally, this is probably this race or the yoni, where the mermaids come from. Somehow, some way, the DNA gets to them, from this higher level race. This is Elohim. This is the beings who will go on to create the Yahweh God stories. And this race itself, the Anu Elohim, is who creates the Anunnaki. So the Anunnaki don't even exist yet. In my Metatron video, you'll see these beings moving and stuff. So they were spiritually evolved beings, man. Of course, this doesn't exactly look like a density 4 matter being, but I have to tell a story with pictures that people can relate to, right? And it is the Voyager's book itself where I got this description from. It says it when it first talks about the Anu Elohim as feline aquatic apes. It doesn't show a picture of them, so I have to come up with a picture for us. I'm sure there's other artists who could do the same thing. But that looks like Dr. Seuss a little bit. So when they fell, they're not going to look like this anymore. Let me show you their conscious. The DNA changes, the consciousness changes, the DNA changes. Well, guess what? When they die and reincarnate, they're not going to look like this anymore. So let me show you some of the pictures I started making where now they have a deformed look. They don't look the same as they did before. They look more twisted or more aged, more scary looking. This is what happens with the humans too. We don't look like the original humans did, homies. That's what I'm trying. What I'm trying to say. We don't look like the same original species anymore. And neither do the Anu. This is what the Anu became as Anu Elohim in the Phantom Matrix. Where are we getting our demon ideas from them? From fallen beings like this. Okay? Where we get our myths and our stories of fallen angels is from beings who are ETs, who reverse their consciousness, and so now they're not representing their original DNA template. This is no longer what the Anu used to look like. This is a feline aquatic ape who has reversed their consciousness, who has a mutated, distorted body form from what they originally had. And it's the same with us, you guys. If you're going to descend, you're going to become some other creature than what you used to be. You're not going to look the same as you used to be. You're going to be something other than what you used to be. Instead of the sweet looking Anu, let me find another Anu. This is the Anu version before they fell. It gives you an idea of how consciousness can fall. I mean, what happens when consciousness falls? Okay? This is incentive to not fall. I don't want to fall and become lesser than what I used to be. Do you? I don't want to become lesser than what I originally was designed. So let me switch out. This just helps you get an idea of what the Elohim are. The Guardians call them feline aquatic apes. Not me. I'm not just making these cute pictures for nothing. This is going along with kind of like a documentary about what happened to the Metatron's fall. What happened to these races like the Anu Elohim and how they fell and started warring. I mean, it happened 250 billion years ago, you guys, before we were even thought of. We were created because of what they did 250 billion years ago. Machiwa. Then this Lyra and Elohim war turned into the angelic wars. It wasn't even our original war. It was the Elohim war. The El, Elohim, E-L, Elohim, El, Michael, Ariel. What are these races? Who are they aligned with? It's telling you in their name. And while all these people in religion and in New Age are worshiping beings like Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, see, that's what my channel is about, exposing these concepts. Because it is what is keeping humans in spiritual bondage. I gotta keep drinking, sorry. Let me go back to comments, you guys. How you doing, holy ones? Thank you guys for being here tonight with me. So this is the spiritual war that we deal with. And this is something that you awaken into. Like, we're spiritually awakening, and we find out that we're in a spiritual war. And we got our brother here asking a question. Magali Cardoza, really, how we the humans in the third dimension of reality, how can we fight in opposition at the New World Order in all the countries since your perspective? Remember, I just got through explaining, it's not my perspective. This is the Emerald Order point of view perspective. And I talked about how it's of huge volumes of information and knowledge talking about this. But brother, it's a powerful and important question that you ask. And it's one that many awakened souls are asking right now. And the New World Order isn't just a political or economic agenda. Who do you think is creating the New World Order? They're just puppets of the ETs, but it's a spiritual control grid, part of much older war over DNA and the consciousness and our planetary timelines. But we have a perspective on how we fight back, but we don't do it with violence or fear. They bring us fear-based systems. We're not about fear. We're not about shame and subservience. And people think that's a good quality, to be subservient and worshiping a god, when it's actually a huge distortion. We do this through frequency and remembrance and sovereign action. This is how we do it. I mean, the real war is over our multidimensional potential. You see, they don't want us to awaken that potential. They don't want us to be aware. We're not limited to a 3D point of view, brother. That's the whole point. We're multidimensional. And a spiritual journey awakens to your true potential as a multidimensional being. When you activate your higher strands and, through your innerchristos, we call it, or connect to your inner God spark. That's what they lie. That's a lie until you were separate from God. Religions are telling you you're separate from God. Red flag, holy ones, you're not separate from God. You're not separate from your higher selves. That's the Anunnaki message. That's the reptilian message. Oh, the Christic message is that we are not separate from God. You have an inner God spark. Because the New World Order, right, it thrives on fear and division and programmed thought. And, every time you question the narrative, or think critically, or embody love in a polarized world, you're disrupting their matrix, their agendas, their propaganda. That's what we're doing as a team. Team Indigo, baby, what's up? As a group effort, we're disrupting their matrix, their agendas. So we stay grounded. We question everything. You protect your mind and your body like it's sacred territory, because it is. We are sacred beings. Why do you think I call you holy ones? Machiwa. This is a frequency war, you guys. So we learn to clear, we learn to shield and restore our biofield regularly. Have you learned some of these techniques? Have you put up your heart's shield? Regularly. I mean, because we're dealing with manipulative relationships. We deal with narcissists. We deal with false light teachings. I gotta blow my nose again. And it's the same thing that feeds the AI systems. The same thing that's coming into all of our life. And we fight this New World Order by creating a positive timeline, creating these parallel systems, not begging for change from the corrupted ones or the false people in the New Age, false teachers. But we create with other awakened souls. Grow food, share knowledge, support the Christos aligned creators. Hello. Become unshakable together. And we're not victims. We're the guardians remembering our role. That's how we do this, Holy One. You think we're just meek and limited? We're not. Within yourself, find that higher potential. They don't want us awakening, and that's exactly how we defeat the New World Order. Your question. This is how we defeat dark avatars in the 10th and 11th dimension. We make these changes. We don't allow it. We bring in the 12th dimensional Christos. 12D, baby, trumps their 10D and their 11D. We have that potential inside us. So we're not powerless, we're awakening, and this is how we do it. Good question, though. Let me seek for any more questions. Remember, you guys, if you want me to see your question, please highlight it. I mean, tag Christos Avatar TV so it becomes highlighted. Mitchell Myers, good evening, brother. Your amazing breath air, fish air. Thank you, Holy One, for your positive feedback. I love to see those. Oh, Nixon Ryder, I'm sorry about that. I'll have to turn that off. I think it must have got back on when I was dealing with fixing that. So that I didn't mean that, you guys. You're not. Oh, shit. I wonder if it'll let me stop the ads. Customization, monetization. Monetization. Off. Sorry, thank you for letting me know. Off. It's done. No more ads. Sorry, guys. I usually don't do that. I think I was trying to do it when I was doing a scheduled live with Tom. That one will be monetized, but I usually don't monetize it. Sorry, guys. Thank you for letting me know. I'm just going to look real quick for other questions. Nobody's highlighted any questions, so Giannis1111, Star Sister. Thank you so much for supporting this work, Star Sister Giannis. Can't wait to meet you, Holy One. We got Galactic Guardian also supporting this work. Thank you so much. And Leo Murray, you guys are awesome. I can't do this without you. This is how I work 100 hours a week. In Latin, keep up the frequency of love alive, Machiwa, Holy One. And little Teacup X in the house. Thank you for supporting that, Teacup. Woohoo! Awesome, you guys. You guys are family, you know. We look forward to this time together. Oh yeah, I didn't know it was still set up. So I'm glad you told me, brother. Thank you for telling me. Paul, you said it. Love trumps all. Tracy Carroll, you said it, Holy One, Star Sister. Always positive, leaving positive comments on my videos. Become your holy crystal self. You guys, that's the name of my channel, but it's a term for what we all are. Yeah, you said it. That's how you tag me, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. We are all Christos avatars. You know, the human race was created with this Diamond Sun 12-strand DNA template. But we fell to Earth, to the 3D. We don't have that connection to 12-strand anymore. We have to recreate it. We have to rebuild it because it was cataclysm that destroyed part of our consciousness. It is that consciousness that is reclaiming itself. That's us. We're the portion of Tara that fell and we're reclaiming ourselves. Now, some of us are not part of that. We're the starseeds coming back to assist in that reclamation, reclaiming, awakening. Like, I know that I am an indigo, and so I'm meant to come back and help in that period of time. I can't wait to go return back home. I have all these visions of my future self, of my actual self, where I came from. I can't wait to return there. I'm not in a hurry because I still have things to do. You know, I'm just saying that it'll be awesome to return back to that source of myself. And a lot of us see those versions of ourselves, not just a past life. Those are cool too. But it's really cooler when you see your future selves, when you see your higher body, when you see your higher potential and feel that freaking powerful life force and conscious intelligence and psychic potential. That is truly an incentive to raise up the bar, you guys, to reclaim what we can here. Not limit ourselves to just a simple 3D point of view. Because we're not limited to 3D. Machiwa. Who's doing the hearts? I love it when people are so much full of love, because you get plenty of grumpy people. Like either in walking down the street or some people you know or have to deal with, you'll get to feel this narcissistic type of energy, this negative, low vibe type of energy. And so when I get a bunch of positive energies and vibes and hearts and emojis and I love you too, all this positive energy, it just, keeps me motivated and keep on doing this, because we encourage each other, we help each other. So it looks like we have a question. I have to watch all these different windows. Jamie, can you explain looking glass technology? Well, that's actually kind of like a different topic, but it's kind of like one of the most mysterious and controversial pieces of advanced tech. It's part of the secret space program. I made videos about that. I'll eventually make a video about the looking glass technology itself. But ancient Atlantean distortions and timeline manipulation. And from a Christos perspective, it's part of a broader conflict between, organic ascension and the artificial timeline control. It's kind of like advanced time to see the future. And I know there's something called Project Looking Glass. And they saw the future. They're using the tech to see the future. Or, it's combined with AI. They're getting ideas of what they could do or what they could change. I had this interview with Julia. We were talking about some of the technologies, like quantum computers and AI. Well, they would be benefiting from the power and intelligence of quantum computers and AI and looking glass technology, and see the future, and they'll make changes in the now and see how that affects the future. It allows the users to see potential future timelines. That's the key word, potential. And so I've heard that they saw the future and they can't go past it. They saw some singularity event, whatever that means to them, whatever that means to you. They can't go past that event. So something happens within the human race where they can't go beyond that point. So that's called a singularity. Some people use that word in some of this secret space program as well. They want to be able to manipulate timelines. And they believe that this looking glass technology came from ancient fallen races, what we're talking about tonight. A lot of these secret space programs are working with these ETs, which are fallen angels. Our government, secret government, and secret militaries are working with fallen angels. So that's another way to look at it. But just so you know, brother, any person who's psychic can look in the future. You know, they call them precogs, cognition of the future, of what's coming, a possible outcome of what's coming. You could say they only see what potentially will happen, because the now is being affected by other time, other consciousness. So the now could change and it would affect the future, but they get some good ideas by seeing in the future. So, and that is talked about in the Secret Space Program narratives. All right, now 1 second here. Giannis is always positive. It's Wolf. Halcyon Indigo is Wolf. What's up, homie? Or Halcyon is Wolf. Indigo, Christ Star, Jamie. Smash that like button. You said a star child. Thank you for a reminder, Holy One. And so religion has this limited point of view of what a fallen angel is. It's just a servant of God that fell. But obviously there's much more to this than just this narrative. So, I mean, think about some of the scary stuff that people have seen in their third eye, or some people have seen the succubus. I've seen the succubus. You see that they look like these alien ETs, these scary ass pictures of aliens who are phantom, who became phantom. So, G Light, what do you think about all these Starlink satellites getting up to? That's a good question too, Holy One. I haven't studied a lot about it, but you know, this is coming from Elon Musk, which I don't trust completely, obviously. But it's like a low Earth orbit internet network, right? But behind the scenes, it serves multiple like purposes, many of which align with surveillance, you know, frequency modulation, and planetary grid interference. I mean, if they're putting something in space, we should be paying attention to what's all the different things they could do with it. Like AI mesh network infrastructure, you know, global frequency control, 5G plus integration, interference with our ascension grids. So I don't trust it completely, especially when some narratives were telling you to like make sure you have Starlink in case the grid goes down. You'll be the only one getting what's it called? The emergency broadcast system. If you have Starlink, you'll still be getting the emergency broadcast system, so you better get Starlink. You guys, I won't be getting Starlink. I wouldn't be getting Starlink. I will be having other types of remote access internet. You know, I've been camping before, so there's ways to get internet remotely from far away. A combination of special routers, like cellular routers, combination of telescopic antennas. You know, I have a few of those units. You can go up 20 feet up in the air and point it the dish a certain direction and pick up signal. In the boonies, I've done it. And it takes a while to figure out how to put it all together, but you can do it. But if this Starlink thing, you know, is building an electromagnetic web around Earth, this can be easily used, you know, to amplify synthetic telepathy, broadcast subliminal programming. and feed AI consciousness fields into the collective thought stream. And if there's thousands of them, they can influence the Schumann resonance patterns, weather systems, and even bio-emotional states through ultra-low frequency and microwave band manipulation. So that sounds scary, and it's the same billionaire that wants to go to Mars, okay? And he's friends with Trump, but does that mean he's a good person? Does that mean he's part of bringing us awakening and ascension? Let me ask you this, do you see any possible distortions in Elon Musk? I see some distortions. And just because and do you trust Trump even completely? Any of these billionaires, we're talking about 2 billionaires who have major influence. Is that even how he became president? Major influence. Bringing us something, maybe they're against the bad guys, or maybe it's one regime versus another regime. So I'm not political myself. I'm not going into who's the better president, right? What we can do is stay sovereign in our frequency. When you align with Source God and your inner Christos, you radiate beyond these artificial fields. There are things from the white hats you can find out to block certain frequencies or influences, even in Cathara 2, Cathara 3, and Cathara 4. The bio, reverse your DNA teaching, because there's been reverse in our DNA. They're teaching how to reverse the reversal, how to heal the distortions in our DNA. And it even talks about being able to protect yourself against these type of technologies. It sounds too unbelievable, but you guys, it will take you time to learn this tech. Have you even learned Cathara 1, much less Cathara 2, 3, and 4? Which helps you protect against these type of energies. I mean, people may not think that your life force is that powerful, but yes, it is. Especially when we become masters of energy, masters of consciousness. It's within our potential. I've seen my potential like a godlike entity. We all have these godlike entities inside of our higher potential. But we have to go through the process of transformation here. It's not easy. It takes work. It takes effort. But we're doing this as a group. We're a group of people trying to find our highest potential, yes? Eventually, we will have millionaire, billionaire guardians, where you don't scratch your head and are they really good or not? If we have to ask, is Trump really good? Is Elon Musk really good? We don't know because something is distorted about them. So we have to become our own millionaires, our own billionaires. It's all about frequency. It's all about consciousness. What is your consciousness going to do with millions of dollars? What would my consciousness do with millions of dollars? Am I just going to live a 3D life with it, that kind of money? No. It's all about service to others, service to the Christic, reestablishing a new earth, a new consciousness. All of the technologies, you can build communities with that kind of money. I would build communities with that money. I would build research into any type of technology that helps the planet heal or help human heal, or technologies like seeing the aura, human aura, and how to build chambers like the original pyramid was used for healing. Because the pyramid itself creates with specific angles, specific percentage angle, creates a powerful energy force which can be used for conscious abilities or for healing abilities. You can call them like ascension chambers. These things existed before, But that technology is covered up, it's buried, it's no longer available to us because that's not the regime. The regime now supports elites. It does not support an expanded planet of free energy. Are we on free energy? No, we're not. So we're not in a regime of a global, like a guardian regime. It's not a guardian regime. This is a fallen angelic regime ruling us. Not just America, all around. All around, they are still in power. We still haven't obtained a new earth. So all the people coming here and incarnating here, I'm one of them, you're one of them, brother, sister. We're all meant to make this transformation. It is a super challenge to get a bunch of 3D people to awaken. So it's definitely within our potential. We put our Christic minds together and we will do it. Like some of these people that I met at the alien event were positive influences. Some of them are negative. I'm not going to allow myself to get in bed with some of these negative people, in bed as in business-wise. I don't want to be on your alignment, working with you as a partner when I see red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, brother, sister. Instead, I'm going to wait out my opportunity. I'm not taking that opportunity and get in bed with that person. No, I will wait until the right investor comes along, the right donator comes along, the right speakers come along, the right event coordinators come along. I'm not just going to go straight to someone because, that's going to help me my income or something. BS. Transmute. We are bringing a new consciousness, a new form of energy systems, free energy systems. We're pro-free energy. We're pro-awakening and being sovereign. That's one of our 12 responsibilities of mastery. Self-sovereign. Self-love. Omni-love. Eternal joy. Bliss. When I told you guys I created this non-profit temple, it's called the it's not officially a church where you have people come and every Sunday, but it's called the Azurite Guardian Temple. It's completely non-profit. Now I submitted the paperwork to become, what's that called? Like tax-free. I still have to do that. They said it could take a month or two. Damn, they're freaking slow. The government red tape is super slow. But this is what I'm talking about. You get Christic people who aren't distorted in their freaking stuck in their ego, who are not showing Metatronic type of characteristics. Find some other leaders, Christic leaders, who get unity consciousness, who speak and think Christ consciousness. Those are the people we're going to build together and make a difference on this planet. Otherwise, you're just serving the New Age agenda. You're stuck in New Age practices like channeling still. You're still into the occult. You're still into the old paradigm. You're not lined up with the 5D Earth. You're aligned with the freaking other Earth, man. The parallel or fallen phantom Earth. Okay? You're going to be humans going this way, or stuck in reincarnation over and over on this Earth, or you're rising, ascending, out, getting the F out of 3D, going to a higher 5D or even 4D inner Earth. That's the timeline I'm going towards you. I know a lot of you brothers and sisters are going towards you. You guys, as a group, we have to transmute narcissists out of the earth, out of our life, out of our circle of influence, out of our relationships. Even that includes business relationships. You're not going to be my partner. You're not going to be in this operation if you're not Christic aligned. If I have to do it all alone, I'll do it all alone. See, you have to be very mindful. Maybe you got a bunch of friends, but they're not actually getting it. They're not actually living it. You still see some psychopathic qualities or some distorted qualities. You see them still worshiping gods. You see them still involved in religion. You guys, we have to put the right boundaries in our life. You want to make a difference or not? Are you going to stick and run things with those kind of people? You're not going to get nowhere in the Christic guardian agenda. We have to be experts in our own energies, experts in pointing out the fallen angelics in our world. You're going to see hybrid Anunnaki here. You're going to see hybrid reptilians here. They're the ones running some of this New Age stuff. They're the ones running these secret space program stuff. We have to recognize it. I am recognizing it. You guys all have to recognize it. You have to see the BS in the world, man. The false religions. Do you acknowledge the false religions? Do you see the false creeds and religions? Do you see the fear? For example, Christianity. Do you see the fear in Christianity? Do you see the angry, judgmental Yahweh, Jehovah, Father God? Do you? Or no, you don't. Okay, you're not on this team. What I meant to say enterprise. You're not going to be in any enterprises of guardian work. You're not doing guardian work. You're not thinking guardian. You're following phantom. It doesn't mean I'm not going to not be your friend. It means I'm not going to be investing with you. You see what I'm saying? Machiwa. Blessings to all of you awakening your consciousness and striving to remove your own narcissism, your own ego. Do some ego work, do some shadow work, and hello, it doesn't mean you embrace shadow. That's a huge distortion in New Age. Oh, you're part shadow. You have to accept the shadow. You have to learn shadow. No. This is a perfect example. Oh, they talk about the in Gnosticism. This distorted Gnosticism, telling you that darkness is part of reality. They call it the dim-eye urge. Bullshit. Darkness is not part of you. Darkness is an anomaly. It is something that existed only later down the road. It's not part of the original time matrix. It's not part of the reality. Those are things you're learning in Hinduism and Buddhism and Gnosticism. Things that you think are helping you be enlightened, when it's actually doing the opposite. When you're thinking, okay, get this. If you're now believing because of Gnosticism that you have to embrace shadow, you just got entangled, baby. You just got entangled in the fallen angelic principles. They're the ones teaching you that darkness and shadow is part of creation. It is not. Transmute that, you guys. That is Megatronic death science. That is fallen angelic propaganda. This is the false creeds in systems like Hinduism or Gnosticism. Even the Buddhism talks about these shadow aspects, and they have no idea that this is actually fallen angels, alien extraterrestrials. And maybe you guys disagree, but there's 130 souls here. Some of you agree. You know, there's over 450,000 subscribers. Some people are agreeing. And if someone says they like the occult, you guys, that you don't have to block them. They can like whatever they want. They could like Luciferianism and say that in chat. It doesn't mean you have to block them. I don't know if they said other shit. I need to learn about this as soon as possible. Pruda? That sounds like you need medical help, brother. I can't give you help if you're having a heart attack. No DMG, I don't even know what that means. But let's say you have some serious health issues that you now have a heart attack. What I don't know your whole story, brother, but what that tells me is you got your energies way off. Your energies, your thoughts and your beliefs are creating these serious health issues. Did you know that you can cure all diseases and sicknesses with your consciousness? See, I haven't even attained that level, but that's the potential of all of us. But something as serious as a heart attack means things are way off. And that the solution doesn't happen overnight. What has to happen is change, brother. So soon as possible, it's too late for soon as possible, because to reverse back your health means you're going to have to stop completely, utterly, stop what you were doing, because what you were doing is not working. And if you want my opinion is start fasting. Start fasting regularly. Water fasting. That means you don't eat food, you drink water. For 1 day, for 2 days, for 3 days. You're going to want to detox. Something is not right, man. You got to detox, start fasting, go on an alkaline diet. You don't like that. You're not going to like that. You want to stop smoking, cigarettes or whatever. You have to go, if you're buried into religion, that's going to cause you problems in your health. If you got these distorted ideas into the occult, into New Age, it's going to make you sick. You see, thoughts is energy. It changes, modifies your DNA template, your morphogenetic field, your crystal body. It's distorting it. You're getting heart attacks. You're getting serious health issues because you're in a bad place in your thoughts, in your beliefs, in your lifestyle. Something has to change. I'm not a doctor. I can't give you advice on that, but it sounds like you need some serious transformation in your life. And there are some pointers. There's some few ideas. Bless you in your spiritual journey, Holy One. Get those energies straightened out. Machiwa. So these fallen angelic Anunnaki, including Jehovian Anunnaki, including Emilian Luciferian Anunnaki, including Marduk, Enlil, Inky Anunnaki races, hybrid Anunnaki races. These are fallen angels. And they have done atrocities to our planet again and again, and they're still doing it. Operating from Phantom Nibiru, operating and through stargates to get here, portals to get here. They're coming through the Philadelphia experiment. They're coming through the Montauk Project. They're coming from HARP, CERN, any of these portals leading out. Many artificial and natural portals. There's a highway, a network of portals where beings from another dimension can come to this dimension. This is how they still can have influence on us. This is how the whole flat earth BS model, the whole dome or the planet model is complete utter nonsense. Psyops. Realize that there is no ice wall. Realize that Antarctica is a continent. The North Pole, the South Pole are part of our round earth. You know, it's called a pole for a reason. It's not a North Pole if it's a flat Earth. But these beings come through portals to get to our world. Whatever shape you want to call the planet, they're coming from somewhere else, not from beyond the stupid ass walls. Because that is a ludicrous, comical, little kid, a little immature thinking that all of the civilizations haven't talked about a freaking ice wall, except for in modern times. There's suddenly an ice wall, and that's where all these aliens are coming from. BS. BS. If that's your belief, Holy One. That's your truth. Congratulations. Now you think there's nothing in outer space. Now you think it's all just a technology that's just making you think that, perceive that. Now you don't think there's secret space programs because it's a flat Earth and there's an ice wall. You see what I'm saying? And we can go on and on and on, but this channel is not about that. If that's what your belief, why are you here? Why are you here in Christos Avatar if you believe in a flat Earth model? Legitimate question, right? Because the Guardians talk about a round Earth model. And let me show you a diagram on a PDF. I got to get this in chat real quick. So let me get this in chat real quick. Files, Christos websites, Christos Avatar 2025. Globe Earth. Shit. The flat Earth psyop. You know what a psyop is? Psychological operation. Ice walls, psychological operation. And you notice all the pictures of an ice wall are all AI generated images. No actual photograph of a freaking ice wall. And no one out of all these populations and cultures and nations don't have video footage and pictures in HD of a freaking ice wall. So in chat, I'm putting this in chat. You can see how the Guardians show a freaking round global Earth. There's a link. You can see it. 11:11. What's up, Holy Ones? Yeah, baby. Yeah. It's only 8:11 where I live, but thank you guys. I see you all on the East Coast. CERN is only one way to make a portal. There's other ways. There's actually the ancient Falcon Atlantean wormhole. They made those through the Philadelphia experiment, besides the Philadelphia experiment, which was done by the Zeta Gray aliens, which some people are praising. Just recently, someone telling me how the Zeta Gray aliens are good guys, that he's in telepathic communication with them, and they're good. Maybe he found one Zeta Gray alien that's communicating that's positive. But you guys, just like the freaking dragons, just like the freaking Elohim, these are fallen angelic races, straight up, with diabolical agendas against the human race. Like, let me show you some of their agendas. I'll switch to the PDF, and then we'll look at that together. It's not showing the PDF. No, this doesn't cover my whole screen, but who cares? I don't care. So fallen angels is any being who has a reverse consciousness, but there's actually races that are like the Necromatons. They created the Andromi Draconian Orion Confederation. Oh, this is Draconian Orion Confederation. Okay, that's their agenda. Andromi, Anunnaki, Luciferian, Pleiadian, Nibirian coalition. So these are agendas, man. The Pleiadian, Nibirian coalition and the Draconian Orion Confederation. Also something called the United Federation of Planets. And there's people saying this is the Galactic Federation. A federation of planets is good guys. Hello! These are intruder, Illuminati, fallen angelic races. Orion Necromaton Black League, another agenda against the human race. The Centaurian Nation, and also the Alpha Omega Order. These are all agendas against you, against the human race awakening. They don't want you to awaken. They want to dominate you or murder you, annihilate you. The Zeta Gray aliens have their own agendas called the Pleiadian Nibirian Coalition. So they're part of that. And also they're gold flames, so they're also friends with the dragons, the Dragon Orion Confederation. And then the Omicron dragons, they have Draconian Orion Confederation, we already said that. The Dracos, well, the Dracon made them, so they're also part of the Draconian Orion Confederation. This is a big deal. There's a lot of races involved in it. They're also part of it. The Odedicrons are part of it. But they're also part of the Pleiadian Nibirian Coalition. The Marduks. They're part of the Pleiadian Nibirian Coalition. And also the Orion Necromaton Black League. Same one for the Marduk, Dream, and Satane. Enlil. They're also part of the Pleiadian Nibirian and the Draconian Orion Confederation. So those are two big ones. The Jehovian Anunnaki. Oh, they have their own. Jehovian Nephite Nohasim. Jehovian Nephite Draconian Baal. Also part of that Draconian Orion Confederation. And some go into the Pleiadian Nibirian. So they all have these mixed Luciferian agendas, man. Same thing. There's that Pleiadian one again. Here's the Thoth Inki one. They're part of the Pleiadian Nibirian Coalition. That's it, right? Yeah, that's it. So let's look at what some of these beings want to do. Like here's the Thoth Inki. You know, Billy Carson loves the Inki and Thoth. I mean, he loves Thoth. This is what Thoth's group is bringing us. The Luciferian Covenant, that's what they are. From 10,000 years ago, man. It's not limited to an Earth thing. It's an extraterrestrial thing. They're the ones who want the New World Order, man. It's the Nibirian Atlantean Dominion Master Plan. I'm trying to keep zoomed in, but I can't read the whole thing if I zoom in too much. So they're the dominant force of the Anunnaki portions of the world management team. Always remember in the back of your head, these are freaking fallen angels. And they're ones wanting the one world order. They're the ones who create the Luciferian covenant. They're the ones that are the team Illuminati. They bring you the Greek Hermes. Mr. Billy Carson, your Hermes, your Hermetica, your Thoth is coming from fallen angels, homie. And people worshiping Trismegistus. They're the same ones who bring you the Greek Roman Aemilius and Julius Caesar, Nibirian king lines, Roman and Greek Olympian gods. You guys are into Zeus and Apollo. Those are fallen angels, homies. Wonder Woman is part of that crew. this other Marvel hero. He swings a big hammer. Roman and Greek homies are fallen angels. They're the same ones that brought you Mayan Quetzalcoatl. You're worshiping a freaking reptilian winged bird bang. The ones that brought you the Roman calendar, Julian calendar. They're the ones bringing you Osiris, Isis, mystical skulls. I swear, so many of you New Agers are worshiping or thinking that they're so great. Isis is so great. Osiris is so great. I'm drinking water now. When these are freaking fallen angelic mystical skulls, homies. And there are people talking about the emerald tablets when it is talked about as being fallen angelic Illuminati work. Brotherhoods of the Snake, fallen angels. Atlantean mystical skulls, fallen angels. Tonight's topic. Lord Melchizedek, fallen angel. Thoth, big time fallen angel. And this is just one alien race group, man. The freaking Inky Anunnaki. Thoth is a big player in that Thoth Inky Anunnaki. Just saying. This is the fallen angelic agendas you see playing out in the world. Here's Semyasi. You guys love the Billy Carson story. He was influenced by the Luciferian Pleiadians. They're the same ones who are bringing the Protestant Christian text distortions. Also part of the ISIS mystical skulls. We're talking about the Pleiadian, Semyasi, Luciferians, okay? They're the ones who are bringing you Pleiadian channels like the Billy Carson story and UFO contacts. They also are friends with the Thoth Inky. The Pleiadian Luciferians are friends with Thoth Inky. What a surprise. They're friends with the Enlil Odedicrons, the Marduk Luciferian lines, the Mahatma. Oh, the Rosicrucian. Rosicrucians, I remember seeing them when I was in Ukraine in the main square, or the main street, Deripaska Street. It's not called Deripaska. I forgot the freaking name of the street. I lived on there for a while. But I saw this huge group of Rosicrucians come in and start doing their little dance when they're freaking don't even know what they're following or where their information is coming from. There's the Olympian gods again of Roman Greece, the Galactic Federation, homie, and Ashtar Command, fallen angels. But hey, you're not going to take my word for it, or the Emerald Covenant word for it, right? You're just going to keep on following these councils of Nibiru, fallen angelic councils, Council of Nine, Council of whatever. Man, following the Galactic Fed ain't getting you nowhere in spiritual awakening. It's just bringing you down, fallen angels. This is why my channel won't be so popular, because we expose some of the popular teachings as false creeds. So, Machiwa, Masutas, Makaya. Bless you, Shelley. Thank you for being here with us. Thor, yeah, you said it. Ishtar, same thing. Fallen angels. It's one of those Anunnaki god names, right? It's one of the female goddess names, Ishtar. You guys, any type of god being worshipped is a fallen angel. They're not gods. See, we have to redefine the word God because there's no such thing as plural gods. So that's your first red flag when you see a pagan pantheon. That's a red flag because you should know there's only one creator. So why is there some teaching saying there's a bunch of creator gods? It's your first red flag. Plural gods is a red flag. Is not Thor part of a group of gods? Is not Thoth part of a group of gods? Red flag. There's no such thing as plural gods. There's only one creator God. Plural gods equals extraterrestrial negative entities. Let me say that again. If you see a pantheon of gods, it's a pantheon of fallen ET gods, not gods, because there's only one of those. And there is no pronoun in God. God's not a male. God's not walking, swinging. Doesn't look like this. God's not a female. God's not a gender. God is not a body. So how can you draw pictures of God? Because there is no form of God. God is pure consciousness. God is eternal. Eternally good, by the way. When you see distortions, that's because it's in the hologram field. You can have distortions of God in the hologram fields. That's what the time matrix is. It's 15 dimensions, 15 levels of distortion of the original. It's not the original. So it's a distortion of the original. And each frequency band that goes down, down, down is the worst distortion. So you see out of 15, we're way down at the third level. That's a pretty bad distortion, you guys. Even 5D is still a distortion. 9D is still a distortion. 12D is still not the original, not the complete God. So realize that you don't become complete until you leave the time matrix. Then you will be joined with no body form, no gender, no aging, no time passage, just eternal gestalts of living consciousness, living in pure ecstasy and joy with Creator. But there's 3 levels of that. So you still realize the Ekar. The Ekar is the first version of no downstepping. There's no downstepping, but it includes all of creation. The Ekar level encompasses everything else, including all of the different time matrices. And so there is no fallen angels coming from those cosmic levels. This is where Gnosticism has it wrong. That's where they have it distorted. It didn't always exist. The Guardians tell us it started existing 250 billion years ago. Not 950 billion years ago, not in the eternal realms. It's limited. It's capped. It's capped to the 11.5 dimension. The darkness can't go higher than that. That's within our time matrix. Other time matrices have been completely taken over, like the Wezedak time matrix, talked about. I don't think it's talked about in Voyagers. It's talked about in the later workshops, like the Dance for Life, Dance for Love, Dance for Joy workshops, and some of the other workshops too. Metatron's not even mentioned in here. It comes later. I mean, it's a more advanced topic because it's such a controversial topic. Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron. See, these teachings are about not worshiping anything, but all of those teachings are based on worshiping a saint, worshiping one of these ET gods, worshiping a self-proclaimed archangel. Worship it, cooperate with it, so you will get some benefit with it. You guys, there's no hierarchy. A hierarchy system is a fallen angelic system. Worshipping is a fallen angelic system. Your Christianity, your Islam, your Yahweh, your Brahma, those are fallen angelic systems, homies. That is the brutal message of the Guardians. We shouldn't have religions. We shouldn't have self-proclaimed archangels. These are influencers. These are intruder races, bringing us to our original, identity, warping our original identity, getting us to be relying on something in the matrix instead of your inner Christos, instead of your inner God spark. Now religion says you're separate from God. Bullshit. You know you're not separate from God. You know you've always been a part of God. And people will say, well, look, you're not, humans don't act like it. Well, that's because we're being distorted. Some people are falling into the distortion. It's not because of some sinful nature. It's not because you're separate from God. Distortion. It's because you allowed that into your consciousness, and that could be a collective mistake. Like your family of consciousness may be reincarnating and again in the same agendas. Maybe you didn't learn from your past life or the previous life before that. Maybe there's some pattern you're following. A pattern stuck in your karma. And some people in the New Age don't believe in karma. There's no such thing as karma. There's personal karma. There's planet karma. Planetary. There's galactic karma. There's universal karma, homie. We're definitely dealing with karma. You're definitely dealing with shit from your other selves, maybe. Maybe one of yourselves in the 7th dimension. Maybe you're one of yourselves in a parallel Earth. Maybe you're one of yourselves on Tara. Or maybe it's a group of selves, okay, that haven't gotten it right, that are still serving a fallen angelic propaganda. Maybe you're working one of these Pleiadian coalition things. The negative Pleiadians, the Semyasi group, or the, Orion Draconian group. Not to mention, we're getting entangled with, on our planet, we're having a lot of hybrid beings here. So we have hybrid Anunnaki influencing us. Because some of these alien Anunnaki hybrids don't know they're hybrids. Don't know they're supposed to be following and bringing in their agenda. But I've heard Ashana say it several times, even an Anunnaki or a reptilian hybrid human can still change. Because you're part human. There's part of you who is blue flame Elohai. So you could serve that route, service to others, instead of service to self, serving the Draconian, Pleiadian Semyasi, or Anunnaki agenda, Draconian agenda. You want to follow your original, you want to break free from those dark avatars and actually heal. Some of you indigo type 3s are a healing matrix. You're a testimony on earth. You're actually literally here to heal Nephilim hybrids. Now, we talk about that in an Anunnaki video. And find out more about that. Not the Anunnaki, but the Indigo Children videos, sorry. So, you're going to have connections to the Nephilim. And some of the guardian groups are trying to help assist these fallen angels. See, in religion, they say fallen angels are going to be in hell forever and ever and ever. That's one of their distortions. A fallen angel, you don't need a savior. It's not about an angry, a wrathful God either. It's about you changing to the path of order, serving the law of one, serving unity in Christ consciousness, and letting go of all of the dark shit you used to practice. Those beings can change, and they have. There's been several examples. Even in my Metatron video, some of the Elohim got out while the rest were falling. And they even got translocated into another time matrix. Some of those fallen beings from Metatron were sent to the Wezidak's time matrix. But some of them came out of those healing systems and got out. Not all of them did. So this is why you can have positive Elohim. Just remember your original name. Please honor the original race name. Anu. And not New Age Anu. Did you notice Anu? Not Anu. Anu. A-N-Y-U. If you call yourself Elohim, a positive guardian Elohim, you're not Elohim. You're not using that word. You want to use Anu. You're aligned with the Anu guardians. I aligned with the feline aquatic apes. I showed you pictures of them earlier tonight. Take a look. Machiwa. How you doing, homies? Yeah, 13D is Elohai, 14D is Seraphai, 15D is Braharama. Yeah, sometimes they were hanging witches. That is a perfect example. I mean, maybe there were some legitimate negative witches, but certainly anybody expressing psychic abilities would have been labeled as a witch by the ruling church. You are a threat to them, just like they attack indigo children by sending them to a shrink and sending them. They can't hang you and burn you alive, crucify you. So they're going to still destroy you somehow by sending you to a shrink. They're going to shrink your mind. That's their job. They're going to, if they can't do it through sessions, they'll do it through chemical. They're going to take the shit out of you so you can't express any type of indigo abilities. You won't be able to have psychic abilities or memories or connections to your higher selves. And so, but in those days, they burned you or crucified you. Something horrible. To the dark side, they do horrible death practices because it's about death. It's about the blood ritual sacrifice. It's an important part for them. So a lot of you people in churches drinking blood and doing this whole ritual, it is dark black magic. Even though you think you're a bunch of nice people coming together and worshiping, there's the problem right there. Worshiping a crucified, mutilated, tortured Savior. You worship. You're doing this based on loose energy. Your whole ritual is loose energy, and your visuals of a crucified Savior, it's loose energy. It's related to death. It's related to horrible torture and agony and sacrifice. And the whole image in your churches. It's a freaking altar. It's a witchcraft altar of a mutilated sacrifice, and they show the blood and the thorns of the torture. It is a massive collective black magic ritual that you keep on serving. You do rituals in your churches. And you saw in my interview with Julia talking about Tataria. I don't call it Tataria though. This is a legacy of Atlantis, not some New Age Tataria thing. It's greater than examples that are listed in Tataria. What do you think those churches and organs were originally? That was technology. They took over. They took over this technology. Now you got bishops and popes and priests in it and demanding sacrifice and blood rituals and ceremonies of black magic. Now the original purpose of these churches went way out the door. Now those were powerful, profound places. These original churches were built on ley lines and powerful energy lines. If you don't know what ley lines are, they're energy systems of high vibration. But the church is not high vibration. I mean, the teachings and the false creeds of the churches and the activities that go in there are not high vibration. You see, like everything else, they're crossing out, they're stamping out, crucifying you, putting out the Christos, putting out all of the free energy systems. You're not allowed to create free energy. You can't get a patent on it. You're not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed to be self-empowered. You have to be worshiping a savior, loose energy. You have to be bowing down. You have to be subservient. What? You guys, you see what I'm saying? You want to return back to what we once were. We didn't worship. We don't worship. Worshiping is fallen angelic practices. We're about going inside, meditation, going into the self, connecting to that. They say you're disconnected from God. Go inside and you will find out, no, you're not. And notice in churches and religions like Christianity, they demonize any type of meditation, any type of if you're working with a crystal, they say crystal is evil. The crystal is evil. I got people in my own family telling me this. If you do any type of precognition, if you're having visions, you're evil. You're getting involved with satanic energies. You're a servant of Satan or Lucifer. You see the ridiculousness? I mean, do you really think this is evil? Okay, it comes from the earth. That's what they're saying. Oh, it comes from the earth. You're not going through God's Yahweh's power, Father God's power. You see, distortion abounding, capitalizing distortion, making greater distortions. Now God's a man. Father God, now God's cruel. It says so in the Bible verses that God's cruel. Now God's murdering several different races that did bad stuff. Now it's a murderer. God, this E.T. God, this Father E.T. God is the one doing horrible shit. Also casting black magic spells in Egypt and other parts of the Bible. Casting chaos magic, destruction magic. And now you're all about being bound to that blood sacrifice. Even the Jews were commanded to wipe blood on their houses so the angel of death would pass over your house and not murder your child, baby, toddler. You see how this is all about death. But no, billions of people don't see that. They see it as sacred and divine, and they're going to drink their little wine blood glasses, eat their little Jesus fleshes, eat flesh, drink blood, bow down, be subservient. No connection to the inner Christ, Christos. No connection or understanding of your direct connection to Source, God. You're dismissing all of that and becoming an indentured slave. This planet is in spiritual bondage to dark principalities, extraterrestrial, fallen angelic principalities. And they have servants on earth called Illuminati running the show for them. They're the puppeteers having their servants in positions of power, in possessions of the money, in positions over the governments, the governance of the people. Now they've infected your religious systems of belief. Now they've infected occult, brought you the occult, brought you Wicca and New Age systems. Now you're going outside here. Now you're not inside. You're on the outside, following antichristic principles. You're following the Antichrist, Antichristos way. You're making it stronger. You're making it bigger, more powerful. As long as you're tied into those churches, those religions, that occult, that Metatronic death science is just pulling you into the phantom. You believe you will die someday. Well, where are you going to go? Where is your soul essence going to go? Do you think you're going to be rising by serving the phantom? They're feeding off of what you got, all of your energy, your life force. They're feeding and draining. They revel if you're screaming in horror, if you're in torture, if you're dying of cancers and diseases, if you're arguing and yelling and screaming, if you're depressed. They love it. They love it. They love it. This is called loosh energy. They feed off of your loosh energy. They feed off of wars. They want a war. They want death. They want blood sacrifices, just like the churches. So what path are you aligned to, homies? Machiwa. Raise your consciousness, awaken yourself, and you will see within, not in the matrix, but you will find all your answers, all your knowledge, all your memory is within. Everything you need is within. These teachings only help you remember that. This is a teaching of remembering. These are teachings that help you become free of the religions, of the New Age distortions, of the fallen angels, the malevolent ETs. It's all within us. And we're coming as a group. We're a group of awakening people. Not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not a master. I'm not some guru. A lot of us are on a path of healing our diseases, healing our distortions and our egos, healing ourselves, and then healing our family units, healing our relationships. If they don't want to heal, then you're going to leave and move on. You're going to put boundaries on your old patterns, your old ideas and beliefs, and expand into the inner God, the inner Christos, and become powerful in that transformation. We're healing ourselves. We're healing our planet, homies. I thank you so much for hanging with me tonight on this conversation about fallen angels. I hope some of you learned something today, and a lot of you are regulars. You know this stuff. And you saw probably in the chat perfect examples of trolls or people, perfect examples of church mentality, religious mentality, savior mentality. You will see those mentalities all around us. That's what we're here to help transmute, help heal. And we're not evangelists, we're not dogma, we're not forcing people. You can't force people to change. That's not what the Guardian Way is about. We're offering this information, and it is up to each individual to discern. You can't force someone to change. As much as we want the people to awaken, they have to make their own mistakes. They have to learn and do their own ascension process. It can't be bought. It can't be stolen. Okay? No one else can do it for you. You have to do it. And this is hard work because of the drama, because of the distrama, because of the distortions in our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. Because of those distortions, it's not easy becoming awakened and becoming our greatest versions. So bless all of you on that journey. Much respect, reverent respect to all of you, because I know it's not easy. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. Shaddai Ure Akumtan. So grateful for all of you guys awakening. Some of you will do it, are doing it. We're doing it. I love all of you unconditionally. Even if you hate me or troll me or have agendas against me, I still love you. This is the guardian way. This is God's way. Creator God. There's only one of those, homies. And God doesn't have a pronoun. I don't call he. I don't say Father God, Sister God, Goddess. It's a consciousness, a unified field that encompasses everything else. Blessings to all the guardian races, the guardian alliance, the angelic humans, the Azarites, the Oraphim. Blessings from the Kirashe, that's the universal trinity. Blue flame, gold flame, violet flame, that's the Kirashe, the primal light fields. Blessings to the primal sound fields, the Kundalini. All that together, everything together, at one moment, one spirit, one form, one God, one self. All of that together is the Unisai, baby. Unisai. Machiwa. Find and return back to Source God. Return back to thyself. Know thyself, holy ones. Thank you so much. Blessings to all of you. You guys, please support this work. Let me see. I didn't make it yet. Can someone help out? $25 more, you guys. $25 more. There's got to be someone who can help out with $25 more, even half of that amount. Help me, your brother Enuhazi, support this work. Help support this work. Help me keep doing this work. And with your support, I can go to these other events. I can't do it without your help, you guys, because I can't afford the travel and the air. I found out really quick, it's expensive to go to these retreats. I can't go there without your help, you guys. Help me reach a larger audience. Help support this work, you guys. I know there's one of you here. Even one person here can make a difference. Help me reach that goal. Machiwa, masutas. You are guardians. You're one of the guardians. And we become knowledgeable and aware of the fallen angels. We recognize it. We see it happening in the world. When we see it and recognize it, we can protect ourselves against it. UMD, Holy One, getting closer, you guys. $15 more, $15 more. We can do this. Machiwa, Makuches. Thank you, UMD. Bless you, Holy One. Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of this team, for holding space with us down here. A special shout out to my moderators, Stardust Goddess, Sarah Holder, Celine, Indigo Wizard, Mr. Madism. Blessings to you, brother, wherever you are. Purple Mercury, love, light, and abundance. Thank you for that positive vibes. Come on, you guys. $15 more. $15 more. We can do it. Machiwa, masitas. How is your journey? How is your medicine? Plant medicine. How is your psilocybin? Have you had a journey lately? How is your Maharic seal doing? Do you got the visualization down? Are you guys getting the mentor technique? The Maharic seal is your Christ shield, your Christos energy pillar, It's a pillar of energy going straight up to a point 3 feet above your head. This pillar, reach out your arms. It goes beyond that. There's this column, a pillar, a column of Christos energy. It's in the color of pale silver liquid light. Can you imagine chrome energy, chrome mercury type energy? Your arms are made of liquid light. Your face is liquid light. Your whole body is liquid light. And you see this liquid light pillar all around you, 8 feet, 9 feet, 12 feet out. This huge pillar coming all the way from the center of the earth. This huge pillar going all the way up through the earth, through the core. It's a round earth, core, the mantle, and you see this going around your body into a pillar. This is the Christos ray. This is the Maharata seal. Seal yourself, holy ones. You don't have to say it so many times, brother. All right, you guys. I guess it's not going to happen tonight, but thank you for all of you for being here. Many blessings to all of you. And I'll see you guys on Saturday. Remember, we have a big interview coming up in a few days on Saturday with Mr. Tom Althaus, which is the original author of The Matrix. And so he's going to be exposing what happened to him, how his work, his original script, which is entitled The Immortals. They changed it to The Matrix, but the movie is stolen from his work. So please, you guys, show up on Saturday. It's going to be a big deal. Hopefully there's no issues, and then, technical issues. Say this with me, you guys. I am Christar. I am Christar. I am Christar. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. And religious people can't stand that. They believe, no, you're not God, sovereign, free. You are a lowly, inferior, sinful human that needs the grace of Father God, Yahweh. Or you're going to go suffer eternally in the lake of fire. Dismiss and reclaim your divine connection. You are always connected to God. You were never separate from God. You can't go nowhere that's not God. So, I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you on the next live. I'll see you on Saturday. Please check out my new videos that come out. We have one blessed holy one, Indigo Wizard Vato Loco. Yes, brother. Woohoo! Party time. That's it, man. We got so much closer. Thank you, Indigo Wizard. $5 more, you guys. I know there's one soul out there who's going to donate at least $5 more. I know we can reach that goal. This is how we do this. Yes, Trinity Coaching. Machua. Also, to ask a question. Is the Black Madonna a fallen angelic deity? Good question. And think about this. It's got a name. And it's being worshipped. Fallen angelic. And who calls themselves Black Madonna? Are you talking about the skin tone black? When someone is focused on skin tone and they have to call out that the Madonna is actually black, you see some distortion right now. And if the Black Madonna is being worshipped, you see what I've been talking about tonight, brother. Did you hear what I was talking about? Most beings that are demanding worship or are being worshipped like a saint, like the Madonna, or like a self-proclaimed archangel, these are fallen angels. Divine beings don't do this. As a matter of fact, some of the original Egyptian guardians were positive, but they started being used, their names like Isis, Horus, Anubis, they started being used as gods to be worshipped. We're not meant to worship no Black Madonna. We're not meant to worship any Madonna or any archangel. We are angelic humans. We're originally angelic 12-strand humans. A diamond sun, 12-strand DNA. Not many races in all existence have that much DNA. Only a few races have that much DNA, including the Terahertz angelic humans. No fallen angels have that much DNA. They're limited to 11.5. That's it. That's as far as they can get. So definitely, I would say fallen angelic. And anything trying to create race division, right? What are they doing in Disney, by the way? They're taking the old stories and changing them to people of minority. Mulan was always a minority, but the other princesses are now Latino Snow White, a black Ariel. They're changing. Whenever they introduce skin war, there's some type of skin prejudice. There's some type of change regarding skin tone. They're just freaking fallen angelic activity. I have these immature comments. People ask me, why are most of your aliens white? What are you talking about? Most of them are different colored skin tones, first of all. And why are you even noticing that? Why is that even a problem for you? Why are you triggered if an alien has white skin? No, seriously, people have say comments. I show these bald beings. I get stupid comments like, why are aliens bald? Not all aliens are bald. I'm showing some portrayed aliens, you lose more hair the more evolved you are. Generally speaking, you don't have hairs coming out of you anymore, out of your armpits, out of your ass crack, or anywhere. You have less hair. You're more hairless. That's a bad thing to have. You want hair all over your chest. You want a bunch of hair on your back and arms. No, not all these aliens have hair. And why is it even a problem for you? Why is it a trigger? Why are you making a comment why is that alien white? Are you racist? Huh? You see what I'm saying? We're making a big deal about a black Madonna or a white Madonna. It doesn't matter what the Madonna. The point of worship is an issue. The point of being subservient to some higher dimensional being when part of you is higher dimensional. We don't need anything between you and God. No priest, no Madonna, no archangel, no demiurge, this or that, no greater. You don't need any higher being to help you. This is part of the New Age fallen angelic propaganda. They saying that you need some greater being's help. You suck, human. You need some other entity to raise you. No, we do not. We all have a vertical connection to source. You don't need nothing. No Madonna, no Archangel, no Yahweh, Father God. You don't need nothing. But people stuck in that vibration. People are stuck. They can't see no other answer. They think you have to have some angry God, that you have to be judged. Humans deserve it. We deserve it. Or that race deserves it. Those beings, all those beings that Father God wiped out, they deserved it. Those Egyptians deserved their black magic, chaos magic plagues. They deserve it. You see, the mind is twisted. Congratulations. Now you're thinking just like the fallen angels do. Now you're thinking phantom. Now you're judging just like the phantom judges. Instead of being unified and equal, you want inequality. You want elitist. You want hierarchy. that archangel should be worshipped because they're greater than us. No, no, no. This is the teaching of the Emerald Order. This is the unity knowledge. This is the sacred universal law of one. This is what we're learning here. This is what we're teaching here. And we expose that which does not align. We expose all these fallen angels. That's tonight's topic. Exposing the fallen angels. Thank you guys. Bless you. Good night. See you Saturday. Machua. Yes! It's so hard to say bye to you. I love you guys. Peace.